Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Queen G of Queen G Live Experience. Welcome to another segment. Okay, these shows are getting really interesting. Yesterday I had Parnell Marcano on from the his show series Greenleaf, which is on the OWN network. That was amazing and powerful. I want to thank Mr. Lester Green, who has been connecting me with so many amazing people during this last couple of weeks. Actually, some of the guests you've been seeing are all his friends, and I just wanted to give him a special thank you and acknowledgement for all the love that he's sending my way on this podcast and on this platform. We have our guest in queue already. I'm not going to hold the situation up talking too long. We want to bring in our special guest, Mr. Brian Childers, who is an actor. He's been acting for many years, and he's going to tell us about his journey and kind of talk to us about, how things have been going with him, his life and his journey and things like that. So y'all hold on. Let me get him in here. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
I'm very good too. And I just need to do this. So my name is Childers. So I just throw that
out. Okay.
I'm so sorry, I hate to correct you right off the bat, but my name's Childers. Brian Childers.
We want to know, like, I'm so real and no, that's totally fine with me. That is totally okay with me. We want people to know your real name. Okay.
Yes, that'll be the only time I will correct you tonight. So there we go. We'll leave it at one. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me tonight. And I share your enthusiasm about Lester Green, and who you've deemed the great connector these days. And he's a great man, a good friend of mine, and a strong actor himself as well. Producer, director.
Right.
All those kind of things.
Oh yeah, I've been getting to know him. He had me as a special guest on his show, and my God, I got a IMDb credit from just being on his show. I was like, this is real deal right here. Just from being a guest on his show, I got an IMDb credit. I was like, wow.
That's very sweet. Well, maybe I'll get one day. We'll see.
Right. I gotta find out how he connected that so I can make things happen on my podcast, make it legitimate.
Yeah. I'll be happy to have an IMDb credit for being on your show. Thank you. Yeah.
Right. Isn't that a sweet gesture? Like, because it takes a time to build that IMDb page and resume and stuff like that. So everything that's added to it it's a blessing and a bonus.
I do know. Last night.
So how long? Oh, go ahead.
Well, free flow, or if you have questions for me, but it just came to mind with what you were talking about. Last night I was working on revising my acting reel. I was fortunate to spend an hour with my agent last week, which is, kind of unheard of because they stay so busy. She gave me some suggestions and recommendations of what to do. So finally sat down last night and pumped it all out and sent it to her. But as you spoke about taking a time to build a resume and stuff, I felt so fortunate. By the way, you and I talked before we got on air that I've had almost no sleep, and because I'm an emotionally available person anyway. So if I get choked up in this thing tonight, you please forgive me in advance. But I felt
we would understand. Yeah, no, it's been one of those doozy kind of years too. So we are all this year.
So I wanted to tell you that I felt so fortunate to have more footage than I could really put on my reel. My reel's too long because I'm fortunate that I've got good, strong footage that I'm proud of. It's high quality. Every once in a while I act well, and they can take a picture of it, But so coming up, they show it every Christmas. I was in a movie a few years ago called A Baby for Christmas, Rhonda Baraka. It's on Up TV, and they show it in rotation every Christmas. So it's a baby for Christmas, a this for Christmas, that for Christmas. She has a whole series of them, and it was really nice. Yeah. So I was happy to be in that. All right, go ahead. You got something for me? You want me to hit it back?
Well, I also noticed in the picture behind you, especially, this is what we talked about off camera, but I want to say it for our audience. You look a lot like Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
Right. Look at that photo, everybody.
yeah.
And they always say we have a twin in the world. I know you probably get that all the time.
Frequently, I do frequently, yes. So, but he's a very tall, and I'm 5'9". He's six something or other like that. So people, if they stood us next to each other, they go, it's like I'm his mini me or something, you know.
Right. So the height is the difference, and that's how they separate you from him, and they know right away that hey, no.
I think he's
But you
probably
look
got.
a lot like him. A
Well,
lot, very, very similar.
well, hopefully he's an attractive man. You know, I hope. I hope they're not saying like you're just as ugly as Phil Jackson. You know.
Oh no. I listen. I'm not partial to anything, but I think Phil Jackson is really handsome actually. I think he's a handsome guy. And
Sweet.
his position of what he does for a living
Mhm.
makes him even more attractive.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a few more zeros behind his paycheck than I do, but good for him. You know, good for I'm happy for all.
So,
A rising tide lifts all boats. You know.
right. How long
Yeah.
you been acting? Have you been acting?
I started in 1979, way back before dirt was invented. I started acting. You know. But yeah, so, you know, my first, you probably don't know, but my first career was as a drummer. I played drums professionally until I was 40, and
Okay.
I got to do some pretty interesting things. I toured one year with the Moscow Circus, and like the Moscow Russia Circus, you know, came over here. Learned
Right.
learned to speak Russian with those folks. That was very cool. Matter of fact, today I have an audition taping service as well, which is how I met Lester the first time, right? And so I had one of my clients here got a callback for I don't guess I should say the name of it, but it's a callback on a commercial type deal. And so today, it seems like the client is Russian. I heard her accent. Like he came over and did his Zoom callback with me down in my studio, and I heard her accent was Russian. I was dying to say something to her in Russian, but I went, nah, this is his deal. It's not my deal. Keep it quiet. Be quiet. It was good. So anyway, I learned that long ago, and I know a little bit. I remember a little bit, right? If I start speaking to people in Russian, because my pronunciation is quite good, they think I
Right.
know it. And so they just start, blah, 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 and I'm like, I'm out, you know. They're over my head. I can't keep up. I went yesterday also to the bank to deposit my rent check there, and I heard the lady before me in line talking to the man in Spanish. So I walked up and I started talking to him in Spanish. And he just started talking to me back. He took me as a native speaker, which I take as a good thing, right? So I stopped him pretty early in the convo because before we got it over my head, right? But I'm
how
proud of
many
that.
different how many different languages do you know?
Well, English I'm still working on. In Spanish, I'm pretty decent on. Thank you. I know a little bit of French. I took 2 years of French in high school, 2 years of Latin, and I learned Russian. Almost 40 years ago now. I guess 40 years ago. So my Russian is pretty good.
Right.
I have rusty Russian. People ask me often, they say,
Rusty.
well, can you do a Russian accent? And so, no, I can't really do a Russian accent very well, but I can speak Russian with an American accent really good, you know,
Right.
because I learned it the other way, you know. So, anyway, people ask me about that. So, in the meantime, so acting, wanted to tell you. So, I was playing with this jazz trio here in town called Jazz Dance. And a matter of fact, we seem to have hit something on Reverb Nation somehow or another. I've got a few tunes that we recorded way back in the day, and people are listening to
Yes.
them. What? Okay. But so we're playing, and the keyboard player, Alan Feingold, a friend of his came in, and he was getting ready to produce a pilot for a soap opera here in Atlanta. This was 78, 79, right? Which was kind of
Uh-huh.
unusual back here because there was not that much stuff happening here in acting. So he says, hey, you want to be in the pilot? I said, well, I don't know what I have to do. He said, well, show up at this place at this time and bring your tuxedo. I went, okay. So I went, and they had a little bar set up, a little thing, and they had me play a bartender. well, I worked in bars all the time, so I knew what bartenders
Right,
did.
you worked in.
I stood up there, I was wiping the glasses down and that kind of stuff, right? So one of the real actor guys comes over to me and says, "Hey, you're pretty good at this. Like, you might ought to look into this." I went, "Oh, really?" And so I did. And I went and took some classes, and turned out like, more than a couple of
You
people.
really had a thing for acting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's those hidden treasures in life that
Mhm.
you don't really expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but what I love about you, you are already surrounded by the arts in some way or the other. So it's like it from music to this, it's two separate entities, but sorry,
Meanwhile, back at the
get my
ranch.
phone and turn it silent. That's the first thing they tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I always do when my clients come in. Put my phone on do not disturb. See, I got
Right,
do not
exactly.
disturb up on mine.
My apologies for that. We
It
turn this off.
was the perfect take, and we ruined it. No, it's a joke.
Right. But yeah, I just feel like that stimulation of music and all of that, it's the arts. And
Yeah.
it what's interesting about people that are in the arts, it's a lot of things that I didn't know I had skills to do, but just kind of my life ended up segueing in that direction. I was a casting director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've always liked
Casting.
people, and been a networker and all that stuff. But I didn't
Yeah.
know that my life was going to turn and hit a corner and turn that direction. I had no idea. It just happened because someone just brought me a project and they were like, "We would love for you to work with us on this, and
Yeah.
we would love for you to cast this." That challenge one time turned into multiple projects,
Are you still doing that?
different types.
Are you still doing that now?
No, sir. No, sir. Today I'm an interviewer. I've been doing interviews for 20 some years. So that's been my main lane that I've been
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
But today I own a couple of magazines and I just became an author of 12 books
Excellent.
this year.
Excellent. Well, you've been busy.
This
12
year.
books. What, a book a month or something?
Well, it averages out to that, but it was kind of like one little book. It's a children's book. I did that on Super Bowl Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
during the Super Bowl, because I'm not a football mom or wife. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? While they're watching the game, let me go ahead and knock this book out.
Yeah. 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 You're not a,
So
what
it
was the
averages out,
Shakira? You're not a Shakira fan when Shakira doing her thing at the Super Bowl?
right? Listen, when you have purpose and you're driven,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you never get bored with what you have to do, and you just kind of get it done.
Yeah. I was up till
And
I'm sorry, I was about up till 3 or 4 last night working on my reel again, as I said earlier, because I had to just bear down. I was having a few technical challenges about it, and it was like beating me. And I went, "All right, get in there, let's go, man!" And then do what you just had to say. What had to do what you just said, like get serious, sit down,
yeah,
focus. I brought myself a bag of Publix baby carrots and a little box of raisins, and so I just sat there and ate them and worked
and
on it.
got it done.
Got it
You
done.
got
Yes,
it done.
absolutely. You called me sir, I just called you ma'am. So there we go. One.
It's
I
all good. It's all
hope I
good.
don't have
I
something
just
in my
love it. So you kind of
no.
ended up in that field from someone saying you were good at it. They thought you suggestively were good at this acting.
So let me tell you this. So I was
Mhm.
literally born playing the drums. My mother was a singer, an opera singer. She was offered a contract with the New York Met in like the 40s when she was about 20 something. Her dad wouldn't let her take it because she, Lebanese family, like, nope, you're not doing that. So
Right.
anyway, so I was born and raised in the arts, and just it was, and I was honestly a gift from God was given to me to play the drums. I was born playing the drums. So my father bought me a
Hmm.
drum when I was 6, and I rarely did homework in high school, but I played drums every single night until it was time to go to bed. I loved it, and I got pretty good at it. I studied, and I studied, and I got to play the Leonard Bernstein Mass with the Atlanta Symphony when The first time they ever played it outside of New York, that was a big deal with Robert Shaw conducting. It was a big deal, and not very many people got to do that, and only 4 of us
Got that
Americans.
opportunity. Right.
Yes, ma'am. So anyway, so I had that, and the thing that I discovered, which really lit me up about acting, was, so I knew what the zone was in playing music, right? And particularly, I'm a jazz player, so people are improvising, things are going, it's really smoking, and you're in the zone. But
Right.
when I got trained enough to get out of my way a little bit with acting and let the flow come through, it's the same zone in acting that it is in music. I went,
In
what?
what way? In what way? Can you describe that to us? In what way do you feel like it's similar?
All right, let me think about that just a second. So again, was it clear what I said about playing music and jazz and improvising? So when the
Yeah.
flow is happening,
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking about, am I playing right, or am I looking good, or is this sounding right? It's happening.
Gotcha.
One person gives you, and the other, it's a flow. And by the way, all my camera work is working in slow motion over here for me. So yours is real time. Mine looks slow motion. Must be my life.
No, you're fine. It's very clear. There have been people that have been on here where it's almost smoky. It's so cloudy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're actually clear. I can see you very well.
All right, good. Well, anyway, so back to, am I looking good? And like, it just distracted me out of the side of my eye. But so when as an actor, when I know my lines first, of course, that's like baseline stuff. Got to know what's going on and know the conversation. Like, what's going on? Who are you to me? Do I love you? Do I hate you? What am I trying to accomplish in this particular deal? So when everybody's just in it and it's going, it's the same zone. It's the flow. Like, I'm being real with you and you're being real with me. And
Right.
I'm a TV and film actor. I'm really not a theater actor, because I'm not going to be the one to sing to the back. It's just, that ain't me. I
And
feel
it's
kind of,
two different methods too. Those different ones are different. It takes different methods because I was on a in a play and a movie, and it was the same concept. Like they used the same title, same concept, but they did two different versions. And
mm-hmm,
trust me, what was interesting was theater was more challenging. It
mm-hmm,
was way more challenging for
mm-hmm.
me anyway.
Well, I believe,
Because go ahead.
well, I believe that, I've had the actor's nightmare like a million times, right? So it's my time to go on and I have no costume. Like, I got nothing. I got no clothes, or I've got, the wrong clothes, or I've got women's clothes,
Right.
or I get out on stage. What play is this? I don't know what play we're doing. Or I've got a script, but I can't read it. Or I've got it's in a
Right.
Cyrillic, it's in a different language. Or I've got a script, but it's the wrong script. I've had that nightmare over and over again. And so my real fear in my life, everybody hear this, I'll probably never get booked again, but was to learn a whole play and have to go out there and remember it all. Just terrifying.
Right.
Terrifying. Now,
Right.
I learned lines pretty well. I got a little app called Line Learner on my phone, and I learned them pretty well, really. And I don't just almost never have any trouble with my lines. So I have a
That's
funny
why
story.
it's important to kind of run scenes with your partners and the entire cast and run those scenes so that it becomes like second nature while you're on stage. Because I'm telling you, if the person that I had that taught us, the techniques and things like that, she actually she's the founder of the Las Vegas Black Film Festival.
Sweet.
And her technique, Miss Michelle Boykin, her technique was really, really good because she put the cast together, and in our rehearsals, we did the gelling then. And we kind of ran scenes over and over and over again. Some of it was singing, some of it was dramatic, and she brought that out in us even in the rehearsals. So by the time we got on stage, we just more had to learn the spacing versus the lines and the scenes together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the blocking and where you got to be when.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand. Well,
Exactly.
I was the house drummer for the Theater of the Stars here in Atlanta for 4 years. So that's all the Broadway shows that came through. every summer.
Wow.
Every summer there'd be 6 or 8 shows, and so I was the house drummer. I got to play with all of them. Played with Rock Hudson and Angela Lansbury and Tony Randall and
Wow.
a stack of people. A
So
whole
you
bunch.
were around stage and theater and through your drumming.
Yeah, I played all the rehearsals, and while they did the tech rehearsals and the blocking rehearsals and stuff, so we got our rehearsals in there too. I actually toured one year with Dick Van Dyke. One summer we did Damn Yankees and toured around. That was pretty much fun. Um, there's something I was going to tell you about what you were just talking about there. Oh, I wanted to give a shout out, if you don't mind, to the 2 principal acting teachers I've had in my life, and I've studied a lot.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's acknowledge and love upon them.
Yeah, I don't have a degree in acting or all that kind of stuff, but I studied first off with Sandra Dorsey, and she taught Strasberg method, and I did that for about 6 years or so with her, and then I stopped acting for a while. I did it for about 6 years. I had some really cool things happen, but really it didn't go where I wanted it, so I did business for a long time. And when I turned 60, I said, I have always loved acting. I think it's the thing. I'm fortunate that I can do a lot of things pretty well, but that's the thing I think I do the best. So I'm going back to it. And that kind of helped cleave me and my ex-wife apart because she was kind of heading in a different direction. So I'm pursuing, I'm like literally pursuing my passion, and it's coming along pretty well. So the other person then came back to Sandra. And after 30 years, she said, I don't think that you missed a beat. Matter of fact, I think you were better than you were before. And I said, well, I got 30 years more life experience that I can bring to characters and knowing who I am and things like that. But then I got with a man named Rob Mello, who teaches here in town, the Rob Mello Studio. And I don't know where you are exactly. Are you in Vegas or are you in Atlanta?
I am actually in Texas.
Tejas. Okay, good.
Yes,
I lived in Dallas for 3 years. I did. Anyway, so I want to tell you, Rob Mello teaches the Meisner technique, and boy, that set me free. The Strasberg method was a little ponderous. I kind of took myself too seriously and that kind of stuff, but the Meisner stuff set me free. And boy, it's just like boom, my acting opportunities have gone way up. Yes, ma'am. So I mean, I'm a kind of an emotionally available person, and I've been in a men's organization for 28 years, and I've been from the very bottom all the way to the very top in leadership and stuff. And I get moved by stuff that's important, and so it's kind of like the joke, oh, here comes Childers, he's going to cry again. I went, well, one of the things I learned was if I'm crying, I'm probably not lying. Okay. I'm not. Maybe other people might be, but the men have learned to trust me because I take things seriously. I'm off on a tangent somewhere. I forgot how I even got there.
No, you're fine. This is what this podcast is for. It's about the journey. If you want to express yourself, feel free to do that here. Do you know how many times I've cried on here? Like,
I know.
Just from being sung to, and the angelic voice was just so beautiful that it just brought tears to my eyes. There's been so many times that I just kind of let go and let the natural process happen. I'm walking in my passion. You are too. And when things come together like that, it's just so amazing and so powerful, And I used to fear this greatness. I used to fear it and be afraid to let it out and be afraid to go with the flow of my spirit. I used to be scared because I didn't know what the unknown felt like.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, God, what is it that you want me to do? I'm there. I'm available. I'm going to just flow with it and, just let go and not worry about my makeup running for that moment. Or, if we need to be vulnerable at different times, then so be it. This is the place for that expression. I definitely welcome that, and because you never know who's watching and what they're going through. And this is not a phony platform. It's very, authentic. It's very authentic.
Can I bring up? So I didn't tell you earlier, and I thought, well, who wants to know this? But maybe because where you're taking us right now, maybe this is kind of apropos here. and maybe I won't get choked up and cry about it, but we'll see. So a lady came to me out of my past, like 40 years out of my past, last Sunday, not 2 days ago, but before that. And she told me
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to. Well, I don't know if she would see this, but anyway, um, she came to me with a very, very, very attractive proposition. Okay, she's been watching me for 4 years. She said on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, she named her daughter after me, and it's not my daughter, by the way. Her daughter's much younger than when we were last together, so it's not. But she named her daughter Brianna. Okay, it's like, oh boy. So and it was looking really attractive, like we're going to like get together, and the nice guy, the good guy, is going to get the hot girl and ride off into the sunset together, right? And
Oh.
yeah, exactly. Well, today I got a really long email from her, basically, putting the kibosh on everything. She doesn't think we're going to be good long term together. She really has a part of her that loves me and a magnetic pull, but blah, blah, blah. And this is the first thing I woke up to after having no sleep all night. I went, oh my God, really?
Right.
So, so
You did start out earlier by saying you had a very interesting day.
yeah,
You've had an interesting day today. You when we
yeah.
got on here pre-show, that was
Mm,
the first thing you said. I didn't know it was that though.
yeah, well, that's been
Wow.
like, okay, now come and do your day inside of this. Like I don't. We've been talking a little over a week, and it was really good. I mean, hours at a time, zooming, all kind. So I was like, yeah, buddy, this is going to be sweet. And she lives out in California and 15 minutes from the beach. And I went, mm-hmm. And anyway, so she used
Aww.
she used the L word on me early on, and I told her I was going to kind of hold off a minute because I don't like to do that unless I'm really down with it. So the reason I said all that was to tell you that because you said God takes you where you're going, and I'm studying a book called Inside the Yoga Sutras, um,
Uh-huh.
and and there was a thing in there that calls it the four locks and the four keys, and so the lock one is the happiness key, and the key that's the lock. The lock one is the happiness, and the key is friendliness. So when I encounter happiness, I can respond with friendliness.
Friendliness. Right. Uh-huh.
Lock two is unhappiness, and the key to that is compassion. I went, okay, so I might have to find some way to have some compassion with myself today because I'm a little unhappy. Um,
Right. Oh.
yeah, I'm a little choked up too. So lock three is virtuous, and so the key is delight. So when I'm either in my virtuousness or I encounter someone else in their virtuousness, my key to that lock is delight. And the last one is non-virtuous, and the key is equanimity. And so I had to go look
Right.
up equanimity. As I got it right here in my notes. So it says mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation.
Right.
So my day today started with that long Dear John letter. And so my efforts today have been to maintain mental calmness and be that my soul is fine. My
Can
ego,
I say something?
please do. It's your show.
Can I say something? I feel like nothing is by accident or mistake, even if it doesn't necessarily end up with good results. You know, sometimes, although there's pain and hurt and things of that nature that happen, from a situation, that sometimes if it's early on, it's kind of better than the heartache from something that could be worse later on or digging a deeper hole
Yes. Yes.
than
Yes.
what it could have been,
Yes.
later on. So it's one of these things, like we kind of have to, go with the flow of our lives and know this, Brian, that you're very, very, very important, to the people that you impact every single day. You know what I mean? In your job sector, what you do, your business, that kind of thing. So you're of value. Okay, know that. And number two, that you're brilliant, you're smart, you have skills that, you know what I'm saying, are on point. So it's kind of like, let me say this too. There's always that right type out there for you eventually. There's going to be a right type that kind of finds her way to you and you to them. You know, sometime this person may have even been just a temporary ease, you know, to give you just a.
If you put a T on the front of that, it'd be more accurate. But go ahead.
That could be it, you know.
T's, right?
And this year has been so,
yeah,
just unimaginable. Honestly, it started with, put it like this: it started with Kobe Bryant dying on a helicopter crash. Remember, that was in this same year.
No, got it. So can I jump in for a little minute on
your
definitely. Topic? Okay. So when we all went in lockdown and stuff, I got a little like concerned, like everybody did, like what the hell's happening here? It's like, you know, everybody is this going to kill everybody? What's going on? So I made myself a declaration that I'm going to come out of this better than I went in. And by God, I've been on it. So I took on first a push-up challenge out on Facebook, and I had a whole bunch of people coming along and built
following my gun. That,
yeah. And I'm getting myself in shape. I've got into this Noom thing. I've lost 18 or 19 pounds now, and I'm on the way to.
Good for you.
On 162, on the way to 155, and lean and mean. You know, sex machine. That's me. Right.
And you're handsome. You're attractive. Like hands down. I'm not saying that from a flirty direction.
No.
I'm saying that from just, you know, visual. Like this is true. Like
namaste. You're saying the greatness in you recognizes the greatness in me, right? And I say
exactly.
How's that? Right.
Exactly. I want you to be encouraged and know that just even if it doesn't make sense necessarily, nothing is by accident. And you know, that, like I said, sometimes if things are not meant, and because our higher power loves you, our higher power loves you, whatever your higher power is, that was a protection method. She had to remove herself out of your life to protect you from going into something more troubled later on. That's just how I feel. That's the word I keep hearing to tell you.
She said that many times in her long letter. And so I got it. I mean, I'm just one, you know, I'm on a lot of levels. Thank you very much for caring. Okay, first. Okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, my God.
And you invited me to be real folks. I'm going to be real folks, you know. And by the way,
I appreciate that. I appreciate you being yourself. You know what I mean? And like I said, this platform doesn't have judgment attached. We are just real people. I've cried so many times on here. I was homeless in 2018. So there are conversations that sometimes come up and it triggers, you know, emotion from that, remembering what me and my family went through and the different ups and downs. And sometimes it comes out at that moment when people are talking about their crisis in their lives. And it is what it is. We are human. We have extraordinary jobs. Yes, we do have extraordinary jobs where there's a lot of people that depend on us. And let me say this too, Brian. This year has tested also our mental strength. It's tested us mentally. You know, we've all been challenged, you know, to another level from this year's things that happened, COVID, the presidential situations, the riots, and oh my God, it's just been thing after thing. Coronavirus itself, you don't know who may have it. You don't, it's like, Somebody said this, and this is what I want to repeat. Somebody said this. They were like, God, if I didn't know that there was a God that existed, I would think that the enemy won. The
Yeah.
devil won this year.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
Literally, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the fact
And
that I declare we are going to come to this. I declared that, and you may quote me on your show. We're going to come to this, and it's going to break through. So, through the years, I've done a lot of spiritual study, metaphysical study, blah
right,
blah blah. Right, and so I have confidence there. You were speaking about that earlier. That the I was telling this lady as we were having our conversations that in my study they're talking about the practice of non-attachment, and I told her I was trying to explain to her that the universe or my teacher, whoever it is, my teacher has presented the next opportunity for me to sort out how strongly I was attracted to her and how do I practice non-attachment.
right.
And so here it is. She really didn't seem to be able to hear that the way I was saying it. Like she was saying, oh, when you have children, you get really attached. I go, yeah, yeah, yeah. But this is a higher frequency
It's
conversation,
different, yeah.
a different level conversation. And she seemed not to be able to hear that, but she has served me in my lesson, and
Right.
so
And let me tell you, sometimes um visual and emotional attraction is stronger than love.
yeah,
And let me it could be it's really kind of like, I'm not gonna call it false, you know,
but it's not the whole
it's
game,
false
right?
love kind of.
Yes, infatuation, infatuation.
It feels real like love feels,
Yeah.
but it's not really that. It what it did was it pleased everything that went in your ears. It pleased everything emotionally. It woke up something that probably hasn't been woke up in a while, or it did everything it needed to do. So it felt like, well, hey, this is it.
Mhm. Let's go.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yes, that's exactly what you mean.
But like I said, and you said it. What was that word you just said? I want you to repeat that.
Infatuation.
Infatuation feels like real love. And
No,
lust too. Lust is a strong emotion.
I'm down. I'm familiar
Look,
with that love.
that
Yes,
will have all kind of things happening. You know what I mean? When you have lust too for someone.
I have been
Uh
acquainted. I have been acquainted. Yes, I'm familiar with this concept. But again,
so
on the path, one hopes to raise the chakra levels of the energy, move it up higher and
right.
keep it going. And so it's really, this is odd to me. I had no idea we were going to talk about this stuff tonight, but it's great.
You needed this. You
it
needed
is,
this release, and to
yeah,
be able to express it and get this off of your shoulders, and have a non-judgmental person, that you don't even know.
you're so generous. You're so generous to me. I really appreciate you putting the blessings on me and the acknowledgments and stuff tonight. And that's been an opportunity for me to continually improve in my life, is to not be so dependent on
Right,
acknowledgement from other people. So it's such a blessing when it just shows up out of the blue from somebody that doesn't even know me. It's like, oh,
right, right, right,
I don't
right,
have
right,
to
right.
really put on the show or be anybody. I'm just like, oh, I'm being me and you're being you, and we're in this space, and it's very beautiful. I'm really enjoying it very much.
And now, what I want to kind of tell you too, I feel led to tell you this. Definitely begin to now take that and reverse it with other energies, like reverse it with something else. This is what I normally do. This is my way to kind of make me feel better. And I don't know what that is for you, but when I'm going through it and I just had a really hard day, I go in the bathtub and I sit there and I just soak. It's something about the water and the therapy from that just sitting in there. And although you're a gentleman and a man, light some candles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just like, that's not a feminine thing. Like, that is a therapy thing.
I like incense. I like incense to put
There
a
you go.
nice aroma.
Yeah, whatever pleases you. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one of them things where you can't really beat yourself about it. It ain't really your fault, you know. But you do need to feel better, and you got to replace the energies of what has been transferred to you into something else, so that you can begin to reverse the emotional, struggle that's happening right now. And what happens is, after that, once you start to feel better, it's going to open other doors up, and then soon, before you know it, you'll be replaced with so many blessings and things, because your mind is in a freeing place. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. That's lovely. And one of the things that I do to take care of myself and to help me with my weight plan is walk. So I walk very late at night, 1, 2 in the morning, when nobody's out. I don't have to fool with people that don't wear a mask or don't think the virus is a phony bomb. I'm fooling.
Right.
So I go out and walk 3.5 miles. And tonight it's cold. It's 30-something degrees over here, so it's going to be a brisk walk. But that really helps me work out this kind of stuff, or what, I don't have this big of upset. And I'm not really as upset as I thought I would be by all this, because
But it did nudge you a bit.
Oh,
and there are times when things nudge us, and we're human. Listen, Brian. Let me break this down to you in simple science.
Break it down.
You're very human. You're having a human reaction to whether it was infatuation. Let me say this too. My husband that I'm with today, after 13 years, I fell in love with him immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. So
sometimes, what's going out could be real too. It's not necessarily even infatuation. This has turned into a long-term thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I first laid eyes on him, I knew something. Now, I was shocked he called me after I met him, because I really liked him, but I didn't really tell him that. And all, I tried to dummy it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, be coy about it, right? Yeah.
Right, but it was see, for us, me and him, when I first met him, I met him while he was working for a ministry, and he was doing some work at her home. He was like in the field, in the community. That was the type of job he did. He would do deliveries for families, and he was doing that kind of stuff. But when I met him, I was there to do his boss's hair. I'm a hairdresser, which is another caring type of role in life. You know what I mean? I do hair. So I was there to service my client.
Mm-hmm.
And he answered the door and did not say a word to me. So it was the challenge. It was the challenge of that made me more, made him more intriguing to me, and made me want to pursue him, and, have other moments with him. Now, he answered the door, did not say a word, no hi, no hello. And I got this big old smile, and I'm smiling at him. I'm like, what is going on? There is not too many times that I'm going to come to somebody's door and smile and not hear nothing. Yeah, so that was the challenge from jump.
Yeah.
And
so
he eventually came in.
Yeah.
He came in at the end of the night and kind of had a conversation with one of his coworkers, and him and I got kind of more acquainted. I threw myself in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the price of gas.
Yeah. So that's how you gave him your number while you were talking about prices of gas.
Yeah.
So gas is 706-333-4444.
Right. It was like that. And I was like, why the price of gas can't be $3.99? I was like, why it can't be that? Why it got to be what you saying? It was like I was messing with him. And what I found out later on, years later, once we got married and stuff, he said what happened that night was my boss did not want me flirting with women on the job. So that's why he
he's
you know what I mean, kind of did that.
Yeah.
But from the moment I met him, he's always been a challenge for me. And the challenge is what wakes me up every day. Like I thought I went hard, or I thought I was in my grind mode all the time and able to work hard and this type of thing. But he works hard, and when he put his mind to it, it's nothing that can stop him. Mm-hmm. And what we are the perfect match for each other, because we're complete opposites. We're opposites. Okay. You know, he's from Mississippi. I'm from Los Angeles.
Okay. 10-4.
And he country. I'm not. Like, it's told. Like, he grew up in the woods of Mississippi. You know what I mean? Like,
what city in Mississippi?
Either Collins or something. Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
My second wife was from Yazoo City. She says where the hills meet the Delta. So, yeah,
right. So you know what the only good thing
about the only good thing about Alabama is that it separates Georgia from Mississippi.
Right. So it's I just want you to be better. I know that I feel like it was a reason why you even had to do this podcast tonight. Not even necessarily, we didn't have to address the career tonight. People are going to know who you are, and they're going to look you up and search your name and know that you're a series actor. This was meant to go and talk about, the projects we've been a part of and all that, but it went a different way, and we got to be okay about that.
Yes, ma'am. Can I say the name of my website now?
Yes, please do. Give us that.
Yeah, it's brianchildersactor.com. And my name, I think, is on your screen somewhere there, right?
Yes. Yep, okay. It is.
It's all together, no spaces, brianchildersactor.com. I wanted to tell you a quick, I don't know how much time we have. How much time do we have?
Go ahead. Shoot for it. Go ahead.
All right. A quick story. So let's see. Sometime last year, I got an audition for a little 2-line co-star on Queen of the South. So I actually booked it. I went, sweet. So I called up my agent. I said, I'm going to go down to New Orleans. I'm going to turn my 2-line co-star into a recurring guest star. She said, well, you speak it into existence. I said, well, I just did. So here we go. So we went down there, and the deal is my role is called Kingmaker 1. There was 3 of us. I was the only one who got to say anything. And I'm opposite a crooked judge on the show. I don't know if you watch Queen of the South or not, but it's pretty popular. Anyway, so
right.
The scene is when I get there with the judge, I'm talking to the actor, his name is David Andrews. I'm telling him, I think my character has a higher status than yours. And he said, oh, no, I'm a judge. I own all this. Oh, really? So you're like a king or something? He said, right. And I said, good. Well, mine's called Kingmaker. He said, well, I don't agree with that. But there's the writer. Go over there and talk to her. And I went, okay, maybe she'll tell you. So I went over there. I guess I'm not shy. And I said, I told her what I just said, and she said, well, that's right. And I had another line. They give me a bag of money in there, right? They're paying me off for some stuff. And he said, right. We prepared all the documentation. And I said, well, I'm going to go through the paperwork and get back to you. So I told the writer, I said, I think that means that I'm going to spend all this money and come back and hit you for some more. She said, well, that's right. She said, are you fishing? I went, what do you mean fishing? For another episode? I said, no, I'm not. I'm trying to really understand the relationship between the characters here. But right. if I had to come back to New Orleans and you had to literally and figuratively give me some more money, who would that hurt? She said, well, go on. Well, so I come back. I shot that episode, right? I come back 3 weeks later. They invited me back down. Now I got a big scene with the judge again, walking down the opening of the show, walking. It's on my website, right? Big scene. Like we're the top of the show, that deal, right? It was cool. And so
maybe it's the mess you was talking.
But so, and apparently I did the job well. So that time, right. the director is a woman on this particular shoot, right? She comes in and talks in my ear. She says, do this or do that. And she talks in his ear, not letting us know. She's giving us opposing tasks to accomplish, right? So she came up to me after we finished that shoot, she said, "Wow, you're really directable." I went, "Thank you so much. I appreciate that." I said, "Do me a favor, will you? Would you ask them to get me back?" She said, "I will." Well, by golly, they got me
She
back for
did.
2 more episodes. They upgraded my
Wow, how
character, gave
amazing is
my
that?
character a name. Now I have a real name. Wheeler. I forgot my first name, George Wheeler or something like that. I forgot. Anyway, so I went down there, all that to get us to the day we shot 2 episodes, 501 and 502, hadn't been released yet, on March the 13th. The last day, we were the last Disney set shooting, the last one, okay? The Queen Sugar and Queen of the South were kind of racing, whatever. We were the last one before they shut it all down for the COVID stuff. So
Right. Oh,
I don't want to give it away, but there was a reason for the prop master to be all over me that day, a lot all over me. And from my 40 years as a drummer, I have 2 hearing aids, right? So he would
right.
take my hearing aids, he'd take my glasses, he'd take my phone, stuff like that, and then we'd shoot the shot. So we go out to dinner at 5 o'clock. We come back, and everybody comes back but him, the prop master, and this one of those major characters of the show, Himke, lovely, nice man,
Mm-hmm.
big Mexican guy. Pote is his name, right? You know, my experience of Mexican people is most of the men have high voices, but this guy's got a real deep. It's like, what? That's it is. Anyway, he comes back and he's giving us a little talk. This guy, whose name I forget, the prop master. Well, he had to go home because his kid, he's 70 something, older than me, he told me, but he apparently has a young kid. He said his kid spiked to 104 fever. I went, oh, yeah, really? Okay.
Oh,
I said, well, okay, well, hose me down with hand sanitizer, will you please? Because the guy's been all in my face all day and all this stuff. He's doing his job, you know, and being friendly. So I get home. I thought about something that I might say, but I'm not going to say it. This isn't the proper platform. another day.
uh-oh.
But yeah, so I get home and I hit up the showrunner, the guy. Actually, the casting director. No, it was the showrunner. I said, "Hey, how was the guy that went home? Is he okay? What's up?" Because it seemed a little suspicious to me. So I hadn't even heard about it, but I'll go find out and let you know. So he came
Right.
back. He told me the kid had the flu, which I didn't believe. All right. A few days later now, I asked the casting director too, hey, go look into this, will you? Because I'm a little concerned here now. A couple of days later, I start getting emails from the showrunner, dear cast and crew, wide distribution, right? It's come to our attention that somebody that was on the set with you all may have been exposed to COVID-19. And
Oh,
as the days go along, they're getting directed to me, dear Brian. It has come to our attention that someone on the set has COVID-19 and blah, blah, blah. I'm getting emails from the president of Disney HR, the president of Disney Films. So these people are trying to cover their tuchus because this is new and nobody knows what's going on, right?
what it is, or yeah, the magnitude of what it's going to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who's going to
it
come
was a
after
panic.
somebody and sue somebody or stuff like that, right? It was covering their assets is what they were doing, actually. But that's my little joke, right? I'm an IT instructor too, by the way. I don't guess you knew that, but
Okay, awesome.
yeah. So anyway, I come home, I lock up for 15 days, nobody in, nobody out. I told my agent, she's like, oh, what? You know, take care of yourself. So she's called me, you know, I'm taking my temperature multiple times a day, like what's going on. So thank the Lord I did not get sick at all, didn't get on anyway yet, but scared
Thank
the
the Lord.
Jesus out of me. I'm just going to tell you, right? So, you know, and now my agent's name, by the way, is Janet Van Dyke, and she's a lovely person here. She's good people. And she's a little country too, a little more than me. I'm city. I grew up in Atlanta, and she grew up somewhere outside of Atlanta. There's a joke. People they go, "Are you from Georgia?" I go, "No, I'm from Atlanta," because there's Atlanta and then there's okay. so,
Right.
so anyway, she as the pandemic started up, right? She had a lot of Zoom meetings, and she would invite on casting directors, big time people, right? So she invited on. Let me see if I can remember his name. I can't. The casting director on Queen of the South, and it came on. I got to ask him, are they going to finish shooting this season and show it? He said, oh, they definitely are. So they say it's going to come out in spring 2021, and I wish they'd hurry up because I really want to see it. And I was
Right.
successful in not giving
Oh, good for
any.
you. So you got a project coming out
Yeah, you got 2
soon.
episodes, two at 501 and 502 both. And
Well,
can I tell you?
I'm grateful that you were safe from that situation, because that it is really scary to think about how close you came to contracting, that virus.
Sure did.
Some people, as you can see, died from it. I have a friend that died from it this year.
I'm sorry.
Um, just heartbreaking. He wasn't even 50. He
Yeah.
was in his 40s, and very vital to the industry. He was a playwright and did a lot of plays and theater, and he's a singer. He was an R&B singer.
Wow.
Just really just blew me away. So thank God you're still here, and that we all have, this is like 20 something days, 22 days or something left in the year. And I've been given this message, and I want to leave this with you. There
Please.
are 22 days left in the year. About that, I don't know the exact day today. Sometimes I don't know what dates are.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
um, but I want you to keep this in mind. We have today. We have this moment. Sometimes you got to take it in smaller increments.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And another thing is, take each day to the fullest, live it to the fullest, live your best life, live
Yep.
your best life.
Carpe diem.
And then let's finish 2020 strong.
Yes, ma'am. So, last little
You
brag
know,
thing. I just booked. I auditioned the night before last, and yesterday they said, "Well, you booked the role." And as a doctor, in a thank you so much. It's an instance in a short film about Lord, let me see what the guy said. It's not about body image. It's about the health crisis in the Black community, about particularly females and weight management, right? And
okay,
obesity.
yeah. I'm dealing with that too right now with like you were saying, you've been working on your health this year. Me too. I started walking, I've been exercising, detoxing, doing all different types of stuff, things that I never would have done. Like today, as a matter of fact, I was a what you call that, ground beef person, and eating that all the time, consuming it all the time, right?
I love it.
Regularly.
Taco Bell,
Right.
baby. Me.
Was. But today, this is what let me know I grew and I've changed quite a bit. I made me the best taco bowl today with chicken, and with refried beans, and I it was so much healthier, like the way I
Yeah.
prepared it, and it was
Yeah.
so tasty.
Yeah.
Um, so I've literally had to completely reform my mindset, because when you have these bad habits that you've had for multiple years, and I'm talking from the time that mama was, serving us those buttery pancakes on Saturdays,
Yeah. Yeah.
pork,
Yeah.
pork. We've had pork
Yeah.
all of our lives, and this and that. I literally have had to change my entire mindset, and learn and understand that you have. That's why I was saying that, switch your mindset from this to that, transform it. Just
Yep.
just
Yep. Noom has done that for me. Yep.
it will definitely help. And I've been drinking now V8 juices daily, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like, it's been great, and the energy level went up the roof. And I've been taking my herbs and vitamins and zinc, and intaking apple cider vinegar. Blood pressure was an issue, and about a month, 6 weeks ago in Miami, while me and my husband were on vacation, I had a grandma seizure live on a show.
Whoa.
Right. It was
Whoa.
live during a segment. So I
No
got a
bueno.
chance to see myself seize from the
Ooh.
video of the live show.
Wow.
And that right there was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I got you. Wow.
And that was enough.
Yep.
I did cold turkey everything.
Yep. Stop, change, start. Yeah.
Just, yep,
Yep.
I'm good. I'm
Wow.
good on whatever made me do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you came to that, and wow, that's really scary. Wow.
It's very scary. And literally, I seized, for some reason, my face turned to the right when I had the seizure, but I fell out of frame, just like that.
Wow. Wow.
I had the
You
seizure and
didn't
fell
have
out
a
of frame. So
stroke?
when my husband came to our back up the stairs to our hotel room, he found me on the floor, and just it was just a crazy incident and
You
situation.
didn't
As soon as
you
I
didn't have
got
a
back, I
stroke?
went to the hospital, and my blood pressure was like 170 over something.
Yeah.
Um, so I was on the verge probably of a stroke and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was the type, oh, I can eat what I want, I can do what I can do and do what I want to do. That's the type I was. I was just whatever I want to eat, however I want to prepare it.
Yeah.
That was no consciousness for health whatsoever. And I'm
Wow.
46.
Okay.
So at this point in life, like, you need to transform your mind. You need to do something different that's gonna make sure you stay
Pay
around
attention.
longer.
Pay attention. Yep. Well, I'm
And
69.
my kids are young kids, so I saw the video. I thought about them. Like, they need to have mom around for a little while, to
Yeah.
be able to raise them. I don't want to put them in the hands of nobody else. And
Yeah.
it's just the thought of the whole thing, just it
Yeah.
was enough for me. And it
Yeah.
changed my entire life.
I hear you.
So
But, well, by the way, I wanted to tell you because I don't think I got it in earlier when you talked about your hair and your hairdresser. Your hair is lovely. I think it's
thank
beautiful.
you.
You're certainly welcome. And I want to tell you also, my baby sister is a cosmetologist. She's a master cosmetologist. And I'm bragging
Okay.
for a quick second. When she took her state board, she made the highest score ever made in the state of Georgia. And when she went back and took her teacher's board, she did it again, made the highest score
Right.
ever. Yeah. So she's a killer. So I'm proud of her.
All right.
Yeah.
I just had a beautician on the show. Yes, on Monday. I had a beautician on the show. We were vibing, talking
Yeah.
about so many different things. And I just love what it does is it's one of those type of fields where you're working with your hands. It's
Yeah.
very therapeutic, and also it uplifts, the look of someone, and it makes you feel good because you were instrumental in helping somebody feel better about themselves.
And
So
there's
it's
a
kind of like,
connection. There's a connection thing. I mean, it's a stereotype, like, connection. I only tell my hairdresser and stuff, but it's really true, because you're touching somebody, you're in their close
yep,
space, and it's an opportunity. People open up and talk about themselves and each other and stuff. My little girl's doing my hair now. My sister lives away. The young little girl, she's full of tattoos and nose piercing and stuff. I go, what are you doing?
right.
You're
And you
beautiful.
know what we become, Brian? We become also your therapist. This is why
Exactly.
I'm so comfortable with you
Yeah.
and talking, because I do this
Yeah.
regularly. Like, I've
Yeah.
never went to school for psychology or any of that, but I've had clients since I was 13 years of age, and we become our clients' therapists,
Yeah.
And on
Yeah.
top of that, the media lane that I'm in, there's confidentiality laws and stuff. Like, you can't be, telling other people's business and stuff. So
No.
I have probably about a million people's stuff in my brain that I've never released.
Yeah. Mhm.
Their troubles and things that they went through. So it's one of those things, and just stay encouraged, Brian. You're gonna be okay, and I want you to inbox me in like 2 to 3 days and let me know that you're doing well, because I
Sure.
know that you're gonna be fine.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Thank
want
you.
you to inbox me, okay, and
Yeah.
keep me posted on everything, because this was definitely a different kind of show.
Yeah.
Very unique, interesting, but hey, let's go with it. It's like we did what we had to do, and
Well,
it was meant to do what it needed to do. I believe that there's going to be a different kind of audience that watches this and really, you know, feel us on this moment. They're
yeah.
going to feel us. Very
I,
authentic moment.
yes, I think you and I have had a really lovely connection here. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. And thank you so much for, I mean, I was really planning to talk about the whole acting deal and everything, but that's
Right,
another.
right, right. That's what we were aiming for, right?
Well, people, Lester did an interview with me one day, and he asked me the other day, how did it land for me? I said, well, it landed like I was pretty much an egomaniac in the beginning of it, because I was talking about all the things I do. But we got to some real talk about some real stuff, and he said he quite liked it. So I said, well, it's your show. Go ahead and put it out if you want. So we got some.
Right. This is Facebook Live right now, and it's on YouTube as well. So
Okay.
it goes up right away. People are watching, tuning in, they're commenting. You can't see the comments, but they're right here on the screen.
Okay.
So I appreciate everybody that tuned into tonight's segment. This is Mr. Bryant. Brian, here I'm calling you Bryant. Brian, let me get it right. Let me get it right. And thank you so much for being on this segment. Tell us where we can find you on social media.
Okay. Well, I'm on Facebook. Brian Childers, my name. I'm on Instagram as ChildersB57. That's about all the social media I do, but I'm there frequently. And I've got a small following on Facebook, and I consider this as my opportunity to get to the world. So I want to say
exactly
that in this with it. I have chosen to take an unmovable stand for peace, universal peace.
That's great.
That's what I'm up to, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm,
my statement I want to leave with you before we get off is always be conscious of creating lanes, and you probably do that anyway. Create a lane. Not everything's not meant for us, but sometimes we got to break those doors down, and we got to create opportunities, right? So that's my statement for you. I'm gonna get off of here. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's podcast and show. I really appreciate this. I'm gonna get you the show right after. And let's stay in touch, really, seriously. I want to check on you and make sure that everything's good with you next couple of days, okay?
Well, the great connectors connected us, so now we're connected.
Right, there you go. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to jump off, but yeah, I appreciate you taking this time out of your busy schedule, okay?
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
You have a great evening, sir.
You too. Good night.
Bye-bye. Wow, look at that. That was a show. Sometimes, you come on here and you meant for it to go one way and it just goes a whole nother route. So it is what it is, you guys. We are all human and we're all going through a lot of different things right now, emotionally, especially ups and downs. And things are just not the regular conventional way that things normally are. So, hey, let's just flow with our spirits, flow with, our life and the direction that we're supposed to go in, live and operate in your purpose, and you will get it right every time. Okay. This is your girl, Queen G of Queen G Live Experience. I'm checking out, y'all. Talk to you later. Peace.